Guys, welcome to converting any dates in spreadsheets using Python. So if you sampled 100 people who work with data and ask them what data type usually gives them the most trouble, I bet you at least half of them would say dates. And dates are a mess. There seem to be a ton of different ways to format them. Different programs use different methods to parse them. So today we're going to go over how to convert them in spreadsheets using Python. First, let's open up our sample file that we'll be using today, and there'll be a link in the description on where to download this from. So this file is customer calls made to each customer, and there's a date format in it, date time recorded. And here we have dates in all different formats. This is not a date, so what I'm going to do is put the date here, which is this one. I'll just fill this in, and this is very important, as you'll see later. In order to use this method, you have to make sure that all the dates here are some sort of dates. So if there is anything else, change it, remove it, or make sure that the dates are at least in a semi-decent format. So Python will be able to read all of these as dates unless it's like something completely crazy. I haven't run into an example yet, but it's like a different language or something, then obviously it won't. As long as it's like a regular-ish format, like even something like this, it would be fine. Okay, so this is our file. Let's create our Python file. So I have this code already written out, and it's going to be dates.py, and we're going to go through the code, and it's pretty straightforward. There's one part of it that I'll focus most on, and for then on you'll be able to convert any date. So we'll make this dates.py and we'll save it in that same folder, in this case where my customer calls is. The first line, we're going to import pandas as PD, and we're going to use this library. If you're unfamiliar with this library or how to use Python to read and write spreadsheets, please see our first tutorial, Intro to Reading and Writing. I'll give a link to that in the description as well. So using that, we read the Excel file, customercalls.xlsx, by using pd.readexcel, and we store this in a data frame, customer calls. Now let's go to this line that converts the dates. First, we're going to convert them into YYYYMMDD, which I think should be everyone's go-to date format. So please spread this message to others. We should make this a goal to make this a date format that everyone uses. Okay, so let's look at this line of code. So first we have this customer calls date time recorded. So what this is doing is telling that whatever result we get on our right side, we're going to replace the date time recorded column in this data frame with whatever this is. And now let's look at this. So what this is saying, first, we're accessing the current datetime recorded column in customer calls. Then we're converting it to datetime using this function pd.toDatetime. And this is why it's very important that all the dates in there are some sort of dates. If there's anything else, this will throw an error. Then we call the date and strftime, string format time method, and give it the format that we want. So let's call this a date format string, and this will show us what the output converted should look like. So in this case, since it's YYMD, we do this, and after I'm done with running this example, we'll delve into how to create this date for anything, so you'll know what to do. Okay, so that will convert the date to YYYMMD, and then we do customer calls to Excel, give it the new file name that we want. Cool, now we'll run it. Let's check it out, YYYMMDD, and we see that they have all been converted. Okay, I'm going to do just another, so let's go another example with another format. Let's do one called, with the customer calls, we're going to do this, and let's say we want the format to be something like to October, the abbreviation, and then 2019. So in this case, what we do is we put D here. The directive, which is this % symbol in Python for something like this, is %B. And this right here is Y. And now I'm gonna do this format to, let's just call it 1 for the sake of this. We don't need to be so fancy about this. And now we're gonna run this. Okay, cool. And let's check out our new file. Let's just call it 1 here. And now you can see it's been date, month in this abbreviated format, and then year. Okay. So now let's focus on this because this is the main thing. You're going to use this code to change the date all the time, and as long as they're all dates, they will change. But this is the part that you'll control, is constructing this date format string. To look up what these directives are, I'll put the link in the description below, but let's take a look at some of them right now. So this is the article that we've written that goes along with this, and you'll find all the mappings in here as well as the official Python docs. Let's see here. You can do the date of the week that date is from, the weekday as a decimal number if you want, the year without a century, and all these different types that you can use. The main thing to remember is that literally Python will pick up this string, whatever you write, the date format string, and replace the percent things with what you want to convert them as. So let's take a look at this example. This is like a little complicated, and this will illustrate. So we looked at all these different directives, D, B, Y, I, M, P, and this means the date. The full month is actually not B, it should be this. Oh, that's a mistake I'll fix in the article. So that should be this B. Then the year, and then this will be the time, the minute, the AM or PM, and then the time zone. And you can see this will actually create this whole string but replace those percentages with what is required. So let's create another, let's just do this one more time, and this will replace our file. So here we have this, and let's check this out. And now let's open up our file to see if that worked. Let's not save this. Let's open it again. And look, 4th July 2061, 12 a.m. in the time zone, because these didn't have dates. I mean, sorry, these didn't have times. None of them had times there. And they actually don't have a time zone associated to them, so nothing appeared there either. But you can see that you can write anything in this string, and all of that will remain the same, but these will just get replaced with the appropriate date format. Okay. And that's it for converting dates. It's a pretty straightforward way, I think, to do it. But once again, the main thing that you might run into is that the dates can't be read initially, and if that's the problem, then nothing else could be done. So make sure to pre-process anything in that column to ensure that it's all some sort of date. It doesn't matter what date it is, the toDateTime function is smart enough to infer them and convert them by itself. And then you can use these to create your date format string and convert them and output them. Okay guys, thank you for listening and hope you keep loving spreadsheets. Bye bye.